2015 is the 100-year anniversary of the Panama, California exposition, which I think all of San Diego is looking forward to. You know, the mayor of San Diego and Mr. Jacobs had very good intentions of trying to enhance that experience. But one of the problems is that the mayor doesn't have a background in urban park planning, and neither does Mr. Jacobs.
My main concern of the Jacobs plan is the introduction of a major structure within the park and the road system that goes to facilitate that system, including the bridge that's been plastered on the outside of it there, going around through the Alcazar Gardens, the zigzag road, the ugly-looking garage that they want to build there. All these things are foreign to the park and don't need to be a part of it and shouldn't be a part of it.
Preservation is a way of connecting today with the past. And when we alter and destroy that, we lose that connection.
We're celebrating the 100th anniversary, the centennial of the Panama, California exposition by instituting a project that is going to destroy the very historic features that make the Balboa Park complex eligible to be a National Historic Landmark.
You cannot put things like bypass bridges and triple S-curve roads and unsightly parking structures in a place that is designated historic and is recognized nationally as one of the most important historic sites in the entire country.
This project puts in a whole bunch of new infrastructure that we're going to have to find dollars to maintain when we already have a maintenance deficit in the park to the tune of many, many millions of dollars. It's a plan that doesn't follow best practices in contemporary park planning or urban planning in any way whatsoever.
I have serious concerns about the EIR and the Plaza de Panama, and the fact is that the EIR identifies that the Plaza de Panama project is environmentally significant with unavoidable impacts. So the question is, why are we agreeing to a plan that has significant impacts when there are alternatives that are environmentally superior?
On the Jacobs plan, they bring all of the traffic right through the middle of the park, all 7,500 ADTs that go through the park and on out. And when you do this, you have to do all kinds of tricks to make it happen. A trench, you have to build a tunnel, you have to go all these kinds of things, which I think is really foreign to the park and unnecessary to the park.
They failed to point out that the Cabrillo Bridge and the Centennial Bridge and the Centennial Road are identified in the EIR as failing in the future. So you're spending $4 to $6 million on a roadway system that is destined to fail.
In the Jacobs plan, because they're placing the parking garage where the existing parking is, 367 spaces, they have to actually tear that down, and you can't use it then when you're being built.
The first thing that's going to get built is the paid parking structure, because then they can funnel you into the paid parking structure to pay to park while they close down all of the other parking lots to stage the construction of the park.
And if you can imagine shutting down your facility of the park for 2 years while this is going on, it'll be devastating, I believe, to many of the facilities in the park, including many of those cultural venues up around the Plaza de Panama.
I feel like I'm being forced into a paid parking structure when I've never had to pay for parking to come here. I mean, this is one of San Diego's jewels, one of San Diego's icons, Balboa Park. I mean, the first thing that you see when you fly into San Diego is you see that tower.
The project was originally going to cost $40 million, and they have now acknowledged in the last month that it's actually going to cost $45 million. The city has said that they can only justify bonds for $14 million.
The taxpayers are on the hook for servicing this bond, just like we are on the hook for servicing all of the bond debt that was created by redevelopment projects, even though redevelopment has gone away.
I have one thing to say to the people of San Diego: taxpayer beware. People have the idea that Mr. Jacobs is funding this project. He is not. He's funding a portion of the project.
People think Dr. Jacobs is going to be paying for this project, but in fact, they've formed a committee, and the committee exists as a nonprofit to fundraise from people like Dr. Jacobs and the general community for this project. So this project is no more paid for than any other project.
The concern is, will you actually be able to not only build the parking structure for the $14 million, but can you raise the revenue for the maintenance?
So you loaded the city up with about $4 million or more per year just to accomplish these things, which I don't think is good for the city or the park or anybody.
You can't just simply shove a project through and tell the public their opinion doesn't matter. It is not this business of this is my plan or no plan at all. I'm taking my money home if you don't agree with me. Let us work together on this. The alternatives are there, and through all of those alternatives, we can come up with a plan with a willingness to negotiate and to compromise.